All right. Hello, everyone. All right, there we are. Hello, welcome to Court of the Rings on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. I am Lotro's Community Manager Cordovan, and I'll be with you for the next hour, doing some Q&A, hanging out, having some fun, making a few announcements. Nothing too huge, but we've got some big plans for next week that I can talk about. Yet we got a long weekend ahead, and some nice bonuses and sales therewith. Oh my gosh, my hair! My hair! What am I going to do? Not cut it, that's for sure. Alright, hello everyone. Welcome to Court of the Rings. I am actually live on everything. Alright, so let's get started. What's the first bit of news, probably the main bit of news to talk about here today, is that we are planning to do our first preview of the Brawler and the current state of our legendary item work next week. Potentially next Wednesday on the Bullroarer public preview server for our first big preview of both the legendary item update and Brawler. Now the LI stuff is going to be in a bit earlier state than the Brawler is. The Brawler 2 though is in a... Sorry, I got something in my eye here. Yeah. The Brawler itself is in a fairly early state. There's going to be a bunch of kind of work in progress that you'll be seeing. So, just to set expectations in check, this is not like a final polish phase of any of this. This is a first preview, but we're ready for it. And so we're getting ready for our first preview on Bullroarer. That should be next Wednesday of both the Brawler and the current state of our legendary item work. On top of that, we are going to be doing a Tuesday special preview for content creators particularly, and I'm including wiki editors, for example, in that list, to get on a little bit early before everyone else. This is really kind of just opening the doors about 12 hours early or so that people who are really going to be writing a lot, who, especially wiki people, say, can you imagine how much legendary item writing is going to be needed for the wiki, right? I mean, that kind of thing. Also, content creators, so that they're not live on the air right when we go live with Bullroarer, trying to figure this all out while managing an audience. Also, make them feel a little special. Give people an opportunity to perhaps stream some of it a little bit early to prepare everyone else as to what to expect to see on Bullroarer. We might see some video being recorded of this special preview. That'll be on Tuesday evening is the general idea. And we'll just kind of see how it goes. This has been something that had been kicked around both by the community and by us for really a couple of years now. In terms of, hey, what if we ever did like a little special early preview so that all the people left to do all that writing and everything can get a jump start on it a little bit, while also sort of helping out the content creators, YouTube video makers, all this other stuff, so that it's not quite so stressful, frankly, when we do big things like this. And so we're going to give it a shot. And so on Tuesday evening, we're basically, when we open Bullroarer to be in any sort of state of ready to be opened on Tuesday, we're going to be putting a special token on some accounts that will allow them to log into Bullroarer along with us. Normally it would just be us, but we're giving them a little bit of an early preview where they can log in kind of before everyone else to get a head start on some of this work. And since we'll be in there ourselves, normally not so much in the evening, but during the afternoon, for example, we would be doing and will be doing work on the world itself as well. So it's an idea. It's a preview. It's a special preview that we're kind of kicking around. We'll see how it goes. We'll see if people like it. I suspect people will. It's going to work out pretty good. For everyone else, it's going to open on the regular time, which in this case is going to be Wednesday. Normally we shoot for Tuesday afternoons on our Bullroarer preview, but of course Monday is a big holiday in the United States. For those who don't know, it's the Labor Day holiday in the United States. So almost all of us don't have to work. And that's why it's Wednesday rather than Tuesday, and the preview is Tuesday rather than, fingers crossed, potentially in the future, being Monday. So in the future, it'll be like the hope, if this works out, will be like kind of a Monday afternoon, evening, early access preview, and then have our regular preview on Tuesday. So. All right, let me take a look at chat. Fairly quiet. Maybe, I guess that's good news or bad news. I don't know. Either I'm boring everyone to death or they're just trying to figure out what all I just said. Brawler and LI revamp before Gondaman. It's going to kind of work out that way. So it seems likely we're going to have more information about how you can play the Brawler in its proper marketing approved time, as it were. But I think people who've been following Standing Stone games for a long time here will have some sense of how you might be able to play Brawler, possibly as we get closer to Gondaman. Now, remember, with Gondaman, we're going to be doing a pre-order as well, so we'll have more information about how that's going to all come together, as we get closer to it. But, yeah. If that means, theoretically, that some of this stuff might be tied into the Gondaman pre-purchase campaign, then that would require access prior to the release of Update 31. So we'll have a little bit more information about when all this stuff's going to be coming out in the very near future, I think. But to give you some sense, I hopefully kind of gave you a sense of what the plan is here as we get closer to it, So there we go. Now, remember with the LI work in particular, that this is not one and done. We've got a lot of work to do, and a lot of work has been done, and a ton is going to be in place by the time this goes live. But I don't think anyone should be under the expectation that this is going to be in its final long-term state when it immediately releases here with update, with the update that I have been trying to hint strongly at, but not state out loud. So anyway, that's the dealio. There'll be some additional LI work as we kind of fill in the gaps and corners, but it'll all make a lot more sense, I think, next week once people get a chance to sort of see what it's looking like, offer some very valuable feedback to us. One of the reasons we're doing this Bull Roar preview next week, rather than say even maybe the week after or the week after that, is because we really do want to get some good feedback that we can hopefully have some amount of time to respond to in the coming weeks. So, big news, big times ahead. This weekend, though, is kind of awesome as well. So this is a long, holiday weekend in the United States, and other parts of the world, I think, have various holidays going on as well, right? We're usually not the only ones. So we've got a VIP event going on. Farmers Fair did wrap up, and the next one, though, is coming up fairly soon. If you look at the event calendar, in the middle of September, we've got the Tale of the Shipwrecked Mariner, and then that ends on the 21st, and on the 21st begins the Baggins birthday event. And that rolls through the 27th of September. And then on the 30th is a Buried Treasure event. So we kind of have bang, bang, bang in kind of the latter half of September here. A whole bunch of kind of big events and things like that. Now, the main festival, which, Harvest Math, doesn't start until October. So we got some time for that. I think the current plan is that this year's Harvest Math Festival will be pretty minor in scope. It should be a rerun of last year's event as it currently stands. We may be able to sneak in a few things there, but we're working on Gondaman. And so I think our time to spend a lot of time to, let's say, do a new encounter or something like that for Harvest Math is pretty much zero this year. So we'll see where we end up on the Harvest Math Festival when it opens up in mid-October. But I would set my expectations as potentially more of a rerun of last year, because we never did do an encore, right? So at least a rerun of last year, and then maybe a few little things that we can add to it. So that's the kind of short-term calendar here as well. And I did want to mention that we do have a couple of kind of limited duration sales that I ought mention. That being, we have double bonus points back, and that's through September 12th. Additionally, we have Bomber's Bounty back. Both of those are in the Lotro store through September 12th. So, kind of calling those out special. Otherwise, I happen to notice that probably because of the Labor Day weekend, I'd imagine, we have a couple of pretty big events happening. Gondaman Rock Night is on Belaguer. That's a pretty big concert over on Belaguer every year. So Gondaman Rock Night is this weekend. Addition on Crick Hollow, they've got Lalia Palooza. It's like an alternative rock festival. I joked with someone that they should play some Dinosaur Jr., and I think they took me seriously, so you might hear some Dinosaur Jr. or something, but how are you going to do the guitar solo? That's what I want to know. Anyway, that's happening on Crick Hollow on Saturday, so that's pretty cool as well. So yeah, we have a exciting weekend, big preview set for next week, and then we're rolling right away, into even bigger stuff, in the coming weeks after that. So there we go. I think that is largely the news. Let me go, before I just start heading off into historical Azanul Bazaar, I believe is where I am. And let me take a look at chat. Any links to event times? Yeah, it's over on the Lotro forums. They all start at 10 o'clock Eastern, and almost all, if not always, end at 3 a.m. Eastern at the end period, so. The VIP bonus weekend turned into a crafting XP weekend on Treebeard. Can we get some advance notice of these conversions? I'm sorry, that one is on me. I was not aware that we had done that. Egarther. That doesn't surprise me that we would have done that, but I think that was a reflection done by someone in manually doing that work in the world event system, and I failed to pick up on that information. So that's my fault. But yeah, it sounds like we have a crafting XP weekend on Treebeard instead. My understanding is the number of races that will have access to Brawler is pretty wide, but I'm not going to really get into detail on that at the moment. Will the Brawler have access to both the new LI system and the old LI system? Good question, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. As special weapons, like with the weapons that they use, they kind of have their own item. There definitely would not be an old LI version of that. I can tell you that much. But as to what level of compatibility you might be able to get some use of old systems, I don't know. The intention is it's going to be new LIs moving forward, so hopefully that should be basically a non-issue. But I don't actually know what the answer to that is. Do I have any idea when the housing items are changing? No more internal hook restrictions. So, Chris, that is some work that we want to do really as soon as we can get it out. I don't know what the formal timeline is, whether that'll be update 31 or perhaps something after that. It's really going to come down to the testing and validation that needs to take place before we can formally release that. And it's a fair amount of work, and that work has not yet been done. So while some of the work to make that change has been done, it's not really through the process to the point that we can get it into a release note or something like that yet. So you'll have to hang on for the moment, but I would expect it to be in the relatively near future because we want to get it out. People seem to want it, and it's just a matter of kind of fitting it, jamming it through the system, as it were, and getting it out the other side. So, Can I say your name, please? Narender. Narender. Are we going to do something for our current LIs to help with construction of our new? You will learn a lot more about that when we do our preview next week, but my understanding is the intention is that your existing LIs will be just as usable when we release the new stuff as they are today. And you moving forward, you will progress through the new sort of legendary item system. So nothing is being removed in terms of power of the old LIs, and it'll remain as active, ongoing as it ever was. However, the new system is a replacement, so you'll be moving forward with that, and it'll make a lot more sense as you see these previews roll out. All right. I think I'm caught up on chat. So I am currently, let me get my game going here. I'm currently in historical Azanul Bazaar. I kind of got raffle stomped a little bit late last week on it. But hopefully that won't happen this time around. I'm doing some general questing, kind of working my way through the story, as it were, of Update 30. Very slowly, because when Update 30 got released, we had a whole bunch of interviews for like a month, so I didn't really get much gameplay in. So I'm kind of a little bit behind schedule. I'll play on my own as needed to make sure that I'm up to speed in time for Gondaman. But for now, we're just going to kind of hang out and do that work. Just kind of hang out here today on this Friday, ahead of the long weekend, with internet back. The real news of the week. The news that it's extremely important that the world understand is that I lost internet at home this week. My internet went out on like Tuesday afternoon at 5 o'clock. I was just in the middle of a Zoom call and I'm just dead. And that sucked. Turns out, if you're the community manager of an MMO studio and a longtime nerd and geek, you actually need the internet. So, it's been a rough week for little old me. I went back to the office. For the first time in a very long time. I had crept back into the office for various reasons prior, but I had not actually done the whole, let's just sit at my desk and do the thing, since March of 2020 until this week. So that is what would happen to me, and I had to because the internet went out. So, I went back to our old offices. They almost feel like, it feels like a different era. It's weird. It felt like a different era to sit down at my desk and be in the office and get the work done that I needed to get done this week, which is also, by the way, why I was a little late on some of the things this week in terms of, like, announcing uptimes and what have you. It's because I didn't have internet. And this time of the year, late summer, at my house, I don't have cell service either. What ends up happening is it gets really kind of full of leaves and woods and such, and I'm in a little bit of a valley in my house, so while there is generally decent cell service in my area, there ain't garbage around my house during the late summer in particular, when kind of gets all leafy and such. So I didn't have cell service, I didn't have internet, and I had to go a couple of days without it. There's a lot of things that not having internet mean you can't do in 2021 that perhaps you think maybe you ought. Things like, I don't know, play video games in your computer. Play PlayStation games. Yes, there's these offline modes, but only if you're online to start. That's the thing. So, you gotta be online to get offline, as it were, for a lot of the other PC kind of platforms and such. So I couldn't play my games, even my offline ones, except for some, you know. I'm a retro nerd, so of course I've got options. But in general, you know, it was a weird couple of days to be yoinked from the, get yeeted. I got yeeted from the internet for about 48 hours, and it was an unpleasant experience. Where are you? You're dead. Really? You're down there? Okay. I don't know. You're up there? Up there. Okay. Nope. Oh, okay. It must be one of these caves, huh? Alright, well that's fine. We'll do it this way. Moink. My dwarf is a bit of a cliff diver. What can I say? That's just sort of what he does. Oh. Was this the same one I went to last week? I think I'm just gonna skip this, right? Because I need to get the Orc Chieftain. I don't want to repeat last week. I'm gonna move on to the other section once I get this thing. There's something, I just got fundamentally brain turned around at the end of last week's show in this area. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do now. And since I haven't really thought about it since, I'm no more prepared than I was at the end of last week's show. So instead, I'm just gonna not. Here's the good news, though. My internet's back. And, a little bit faster. I seem to do a pretty okay job. Around the world here, I actually think, you know, generally around the world, there are lots of places that have better internet than the United States. I think that's the truth. I currently at home in 2021, and I've had this speed roughly for a couple of years now. But it's become more rock solid with the work that took place late yesterday afternoon when the internet cable tech came out to my house. I get about 90 megabytes up, or down, and about 11, 12 up. So, I mean, that's certainly real good in terms of the down. Maybe less good in terms of the up, but, certainly, I think that's about what people get nowadays, right? Right? Is that what people get nowadays? Okay, I'm like on the wrong side of this road. Let me get back to where I should be. So let me check out that glowy thing. But I wonder what other people get. Wonder what other people get. Is that good? Is that bad? I bet if I lived in, like, I don't know, California. Oh, gosh, not you again. Where am I going? I am going... Gosh darn it. I'm going down this way, I think. There we are. That's where I want it. Hello, wargs. I'm sorry for barging in your house. I hear about these places around the world which are seeing, like, you know, gigabit internet speed and things, and I'm just like, oh my god. I'm stealing the megabytes. Just like these wargs, it's mostly about biting. Okay. Where'd my road go? Where did my road go? Warink. There we go. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I didn't expect you to come down to me. Oh no! Oh my god, I am so dead now. Jesus. Why do I do this? Oh my god. No! I'm just gonna give up. I'm gonna give up. I'm not even gonna let... You don't get to see this. You don't get to see this. Goink. Oh my god. Yeah. That sucked. Yeah. Makes me real glad I have old games that don't need the internet. I do too, but even so, a lot of those old games on modern systems require the internet. That's the thing. Yeah. What am I doing? Yep, I was fine until I backed up and made a tricky situation worse. Seconds channel. Hi, you are promoting Locho among the Russian-speaking community, and you wanted to thank us for a cool game. You've been playing for about a decade and continue to develop in a positive direction. Thank you so much, Seconds channel, and thank you for promoting yourself among the Russian-speaking community. Very nice. Do I play pen and paper? I do. I do. Sore loser? I know. I know. I know. I hate it. I hate it. I'm sorry. I've been trying to put in more hours to up my skills, up my general ability to get around places, because I tend to be map challenged under the best of times. So doesn't bode well for me getting where I need to be on the show regularly, but I'm doing the best I can, people. Alright, I'm back. Let me go get myself settled here, however, before I put the camera back on. This time we're going to do something slightly different. So that if I'm being attacked, I kind of need to have this on the air. Alright, well, I'm just being attacked by a warg. Let me take care of this. And then I will get the screen back for you. There we go. Up. Hey, even better. No, alright. There we go. I don't know why I'm having such a hard time getting to this road. Where's my road at? And why am I having such a hard time getting up to it? Do I need to go down first and then around? I guess I do. Alright. I put my poor guy through a lot. Let's just say it's not always all that pleasant, being under my control in an MMO. It's a good thing I'm not my character. Yep. There we are. I did get the wrapper done. I had tweeted a little bit about that earlier, but I did get a bunch of festival work done, and I even got the final tier done of the Farmer's Fair, and that was looking pretty good. I will say on my character, I've been getting started a little bit on just kind of some Lobby catch-up work that I never really did because I Valared this character up. So I'm working through some of the low-level kind of champion stuff and a few of the kind of deeds, as it were, that I feel compelled to get. So, you know, I'm doing a little bit of sort of playing in the evenings when I can, and of course I haven't been able to do that since I lost the internet. But other than that, now that that's back, and I've got a long weekend ahead, I might even be able to get in some good Locher playing this weekend. So that's looking pretty good. Otherwise, you know, I've been largely, like, say, during my work life and what have you, I've been looking at Brawler. I've been looking at the legendary items. And preparing for this preview. So it's looking pretty good. Especially on the new legendary item work. We have some work to do yet. You know, this is still in progress, right? So you have to kind of expect the work in progress imagery and such of it. But it is overall looking really nice, and I really like some of the new UI elements that we have going into the legendary item update that we're doing. So it's a lot more readable. It was a lot more clear to me as to what I'm doing, where I'm going, and why. Kind of a whole bunch of things like that has me pretty excited to share this with you next week. I think, hopefully, I mean, of course, we'll see, right? But the intention, of course, is that people like it. There we go. Already been to the Stable Master here. Now, there was something up here that I'm not seeing on my quest list now. It must have got bumped off when I picked up the Hunting the Dale, unfortunately. But I had something over by Kaza Doom that I needed to talk to, and that's actually what I kind of wanted to do here. So let me go see. That's not it. Where was that now? Transmissing Scouts. That's the one I was going to do. So let me take off Hunting in the Dale and pick up a Missing Scouts one. Okay. Let me get to chat quick. Is there a specific time and date for the Brawler preview? Well, we're not there yet. So, gosh, I would hate to say something and then have it not turn out to be what ends up happening. However, that said, I would say, you can expect. Our current plan is to have the public preview open by, let's just say, Wednesday afternoon. Do I need to go back to the road and then go on, or does the road continue on the other side of this map? I bet it continues on the other side of this map. Oops. Oh, no! No! Alright. Right. Go. But see, that was just there, wasn't I? Or no? Down here. No. Right? Oh, here we go. Oh my gosh. These guys look tough. Yo, G, you need some help? That went alright. I am heading up, however, to Casa... Yeah, see, these scouts are up here. So, Casa Doom. See, do I have the new steed? I do. Here's the Steed of the Greengrocer to go with my outfit here. So yes, the public preview will likely be something like Wednesday early afternoon, I would think, as a tentative assumption. And the earlier preview, I mean, I think informally I'm going to call it something like 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern on Tuesday. But I think the reality is that as soon as Bull Roar is open to general employee access on Tuesday afternoon, which will probably be something like mid-afternoon, then I would think the people who would have the sort of special content creator, or whatever you want to call it, preview access, would technically be able to get in. So I think largely it's going to be whenever the Bull Roar preview is ready for anyone to access on Tuesday, and then the general public access will be on Wednesday, probably late morning, sometime no later than mid-afternoon Eastern. I would assume that if we're ready to open by Tuesday night, then it's largely fairly trivial to open it for the public by that point. So we'll see. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But that's the plan. And I would expect it to be open, I think the intention is to keep it, because of its later start, to keep it open a little bit later. A lot of times they close on, like Thursday afternoons, and I think this one might go a little bit later than that. But I'm going to leave the formal announcement on that to the people running Bull Roar, because I would hate to be wrong, and then put them on the spot by saying it would be ready by, I don't know, whatever time, and then just have that not be accurate, so. Has there been consideration for having mission stable masters in housing neighborhoods? That makes a lot of sense. I don't know why we wouldn't put them there. That's a very good question. I will pass that suggestion along to the team. Perhaps because of the fact that missions are a little bit their own teleporting system, maybe there's some kind of technical work that would need to be done in order to make it a possibility. But if it's really just a matter of putting the NPCs there, then that makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? We'll have to see what we can do there. Did I cheat on the Don't Catch the Bad Fish quest? No. Although I will say I didn't run it very much. When it came down to it, I didn't actually need to run it very much at all. I mostly focused on... I had a little run going. I did do, however, the restocking the market. Whole chain top to bottom. I wanted to get that done, completed, and then I wanted to also get both the accusing the drunks and then the being the drunk. The one where you did 3 of 3 of those. So I did kind of, swap it around a little bit, and it wasn't the fastest it could be, because I did do all the restocking the markets deliberately, and some of those are a little more time-intensive than others. But for the most part, I had a real easy little system going. It took me about 35, 40 minutes a night to tear through my 10. And I mostly did the ones around the party tree, kind of down into the the Farmer's Fair section, and then kind of back, and I just did a loop. But I mostly skipped the fishing stuff, except for the find the goods one, the one where you pick up the fishing pole and the bait and all that other kind of stuff. That was part of my rotation because that was pretty quick. So that was really the only one I did on a daily focus down at the fishing hole. It was easy. It worked out pretty good too. There was I thought I liked the housing items this year, and I wanted to get a few of those out. I actually did set them up. I haven't talked about it in a while, and I need to do a better job of getting the word out about it. But I did Did I hear? Ooh, that was a little hairy, but I'm okay now. Can tell I got the weapon aura, huh? Got like a LED flashlight in my pocket. A lot of orc warriors up here. Alright, before I do this, let me take a stroll through chat. Yes, I'm aware about the general impossibility of the bad fish quest. Yeah. Will Gondaman have a retail version with CDs? Sorry. I think the days of physical game product are probably behind us. I think so. Maybe someday. Who knows? Maybe if we were approached by one of the kind of collector houses out there. You know, I'm a retro game nerd, right? There's a bunch of them out there. Maybe if we got approached or something, we could do some deal. But I really don't see a world where we're releasing CDs or DVDs. Sorry. There's one of my missing scouts. Hi, missing scout. Welcome. Thank you for being here. Maybe you want to point out your buddies? I don't know. Next one's over. Back that way. Which one am I? Thunder. Which one's the thunder? That's to treat trolls. Oh, destroy orcish drums, huh? Oh, there are drums. Okay, well, I guess I better start destroying some drums then. Uh-oh. Oh, God, such an idiot. Oh, I didn't almost swear. I didn't almost swear. I don't know what you're thinking. That wasn't me. I mean, I like the idea, I guess, of like a retail re-release as like some kind of collector's thing. You know, I think if there was ever any kind of commercial viability of such a product, it would be pretty neat to do. I don't know, though. You know, making physical CD product like that nowadays is... Where's my... There we are. Like I say, you see a few kind of people doing it in the retro market. They'll do special releases and re-releases and what have you. But for the most part, you just don't really see so much of that kind of thing. Oh my god, why am I... What the... No! No. Alright, well... That sucks. Just pulling too much aggro is what I'm doing. Now I'm all the way back here. Alright, well... What do we got? We got 1248. Maybe I'll do something else. Maybe I'll do something else. Why don't we get started on something else here? I'll have to do this on my own when I'm not being distracted by chats and my own general incompetence. And I've got time to just kind of sit and be a little more careful. Hey MVP, how you doing? Nice to see you. I think everyone knows this, right? But yeah, so nice to see you too, Uger. I don't know, anyone got anything really you want me to talk about? It seems like we've kind of run out of the news. We talked about the concerts, we talked about the big preview next weekend. We talked about the VIP event going through the weekend. That's all cool. I think we're pretty much, though.
Let us travel the old ways of our forefathers.
There we go. You sent me a... Oh, okay. Let me... I have word that the Stable Master question is actually pretty positive. So... The intention is to offer the far-ranging stable masters in the housing areas, add the mission destinations to them. So we will be adding the mission destinations to the far-ranging stable masters in the housing area. Might be for update 31. Might be for update 31. And if so, it'll be in the notes. I think the intention is to try to get it in for update 31 here. And we'll just kind of have to see how it goes. No, Bull Roarer will not be up through the weekend. My thinking is it's going to be up because we're doing the public preview opening on Wednesday. Normally we go down on Thursday afternoons, but I think we're probably going to have to push that into Friday a little bit. But whether that means Friday late morning or Friday mid-afternoon, I don't know. I'll have to get back to you. We'll have the formal times listed in the announcement on the Bull Roarer forums when the time comes. We would like to exempt missions from the instance lock limit. I've seen some discussion about whether we can do that. I believe it remains somewhat up in the air as to what the final determination of that investigation is, so I can't make any promises or anything. But we would like to see what we can do in terms of flexibility on the instance lock limit that people are running into. So we'll see what we can do in the future. No word on when we're going to change the featured instances and its item drops. It's on the list of, oh man, that would be something we definitely want to do. And then it just, as to the when, that I unfortunately don't. Yes, for those who don't even know what Bull Roarer is, sorry for not explaining it. So Bull Roarer is a separate game client that you'll have to download, and you can find a link to the Bull Roarer game client over on the Lotro forums. So a whole section of the forums for Bull Roarer. And in there's a download link to the client. You use your regular game credentials to log into it, but none of your characters are there, none of the other kind of thing. Oftentimes, and I believe this time, you can transfer your characters to it. Not transfer, but copy your character. Sorry. Back up. You can copy your characters to it. It preserves their location on the existing server as well as allow them to be played on the separate Bull Roarer client. Additionally, you can create characters on Bull Roarer, and there's a tavern there, sort of a public space, which gives you all sorts of ways to level up, get items, just stuff to help facilitate being able to preview higher level and endgame content and systems and things like that. So. Well, let me see if I can answer your question, Cal.
We must rid this area of the enemy for good.
All the way back here like Inferno, Shadow, or BG when you die at boss and have to run the entire length of the instance to get back there to try again, question mark? Yes, quite a bit like that, I would suspect. I don't know if that was your question, though. That doesn't really seem like a question. That you would have been concerned about my answer for, so. No. I really don't see a time where we would allow transferring of carry-alls between Honor and Treebeard. Maybe that's your question. But no, that absolutely will not be happening. I cannot imagine that we would really ever want to allow transfers to Treebeard, although theoretically we could. But it seems far more likely that we would if we ever had a transfer, it would be off. But that's not really happening either. So I don't see us really doing that. Maybe when we all hit the level cap and they're all on parity, more that kind of thing can open up. But at the moment, where Treebeard is meant to be a slow progression server that you start at the start with, I really don't see us doing a lot in terms of transferring things to or from. So that hopefully answers your question. Telerian, I don't know what you've got a question about the chat. What exactly should the chat command /account status /Kanto info do? ? I have no idea. My guess is /account status would have something to do with a customer service query. Probably not something you should be able to really see, certainly not be able to engage in. However, that's probably all it is just a CS command. Probably the other one is too, but I don't actually, that name isn't familiar at all to me, so I have no idea. Maybe some old deprecated thing that is no longer around. But I would imagine the other command of just account status would probably be a CS query that must have slipped out into the public commands list or something like that. Oh, Kanto Info, a German client. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, because, okay. Kanto is account in German. Okay, well, that's what that is then. It's probably just some language, a CS chat command, or a CS command got slipped into some kind of publicly visible list, even though it doesn't do anything. Unless you're a CS admin. Yes, the Tale of the Shipwrecked Mariner is September 15th, 16th? I had it at the start of the list here, and I can't remember what it said, but it was something like the 15th or 16th. A bit out of left field, for fun, has there ever been ideas thrown out there for multi-classing in the Lord of the Rings Online? I assume at some point someone on the design team had put together some kind of multi-class spec, because that's pretty common in a lot of games, right? But I have never, during my tenure of paying attention to Locho, ever recall a scenario where any kind of multi-classing possibility was ever given serious thought. I think the amount of work involved would be pretty substantive, obviously, but I don't know. Probably not. Probably not. And let me just go to the other one. Shipwrecked Mariner needs new rewards. Yes, I think we agree in general. They're somewhat lower on the priority list than our larger seasonal festivals, but being able to supplement with new kind of exciting activities and items is something that we would love to do for both Tale of the Shipwrecked Mariner, maybe Baggins' birthday, maybe get rid of that once per character thing on Baggins' birthday, a few other kind of ideas on these smaller events. We did see some of that happen not that long ago, right? With the event over the summer, along with the kind of mob killing sort of events, mob defeating events that we've had of late too. So yeah, we're looking at that kind of thing. Whether or not though Tale of the Shipwrecked Mirror gets an overhaul or an update or something in the future is a little hard to read at this time. All right, I think that's going to wrap it up then. So we should have Mythgard here, I believe, in just a second. Tolkien Professor should be coming up, I believe. Tolkien Professor is up here today, and afterwards we've got Druid's Fire. You can find our full list over on twitch.tv/LotraStream. We've got a pretty cooking, hopping place right now on LotraStream, if I do say so myself. So you might want to check that out. But also, Lotra has been pretty hot on Twitch, and we're getting ready for a bunch of previews next week that should be of interest to you. So have a great weekend in game, have a great weekend in real life, and I will see you next week. Bye-bye.